Hey guys, welcome back to another Cultured Bois discussion. I'm Pepe and I'm joined by Nathan. And we're joined by Wildeb33stPlays today.
Yeah.
And as always, another special guest appearance by the legend himself. And today we're talking about Dragonball Super Superhero, the new Dragon Ball film, which is released in cinemas mid-August. And yeah, we've watched it. There's prepared to be spoiled, by the way, because we're going to be discussing all of the film and all sorts around it. Anyway, how are you guys doing today? You well?
Not bad, not bad. How are you doing, Sam?
I'm doing well. I'm still reeling from my Yu-Gi-Oh loss earlier today. Other than that, I'm good.
A bit of context for anyone. We did also do a three-way duel with some Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are bought the Yugi's legendary decks. So that is also a bit of context for us today. There's a few wins, few losses. You know, everyone had fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was a good time.
Always happy to chat about some Dragon Ball, so thank you guys for having me for this again. Super excited to get into it.
Of course, of course.
I have many thoughts. I think we all do.
Yeah, when we first pitched the idea of we want to do a Dragon Ball Super Superhero episode, we were like, we're watching it all together anyway because we're all going to watch the movie together. Why don't we get you on the podcast and actually do talk about this, the three of us, since we've all seen the film together? We might as well talk about it together.
Guys, we all saw it yesterday, and Pepe banned us from talking about it with each other throughout the day.
Get exposed, perhaps.
I mean, let's imagine if we just spoke about it outside the thing outside the show, and then it'd be like, oh yeah, I remember you saying this, I remember you saying that, and this is all fresh in our minds as well. We saw it yesterday at time of record.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
but it's also we're becoming those people. Just save it for the show. Don't say anything. Just save it for the show. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Save it for the show.
But now we can actually give our raw thoughts.
That's right. Nathan and I had a good powwow about it while Pepe was turned away, so it's all good.
Yeah, we did.
You bastards. See, this is that's it. I'll be leading this shit then, because you two have already discussed your points. Nah, just kidding. But yeah, okay. Yeah, as I said before as well, there will be spoilers in this episode. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, definitely go out and see it. I don't know how long it's in cinemas for, but yeah, recommend seeing that.
You have been warned.
This episode.
Spoiler alert.
Yes.
See, 3 people have warned you now.
There's probably some big warning on the screen as well for those
Yes.
who are watching. Anyway, okay, the film Superhero.
So I'll tell you. I'll start.
Go.
So I'll tell you one thing that I do very much appreciate about this film is, to me, this film was very much Piccolo, the movie, which was great.
I agree.
Because Piccolo has had so little screen time since Super started, really. He's had the odd fight there, helping out in the Tournament of Power and helping out against Frieza Force in Resurrection F and that whole arc and everything. But we haven't really had much of him. In fact, I think the last power-up of Piccolo that we actually had was when he absorbed Kami and became a Super Namekian.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's literally the last time they've ever done anything interesting with Piccolo. And then he's just kind of been there as a stern, watchful, wise eye on the sidelines throughout. So having him properly throughout the film and kind of almost leading the film, it was a nice thing to see.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those ones where, like you said, he hasn't done much since the Cell Saga, and he's kind of just been a side character. Even when you look at is it Tournament of Power and the was it Universe 7 versus Universe 6 little tournament they did?
Inter-universe tournament, and then Resurrection F before then. Really not much F.
Yeah, but even during all those fights, he was there, and he's pitched as one of the world's strongest warriors, but he takes L after L. The guy hasn't won anything amazing. He doesn't really get the wins as much as some of the other Z fighters do. And like you said, Sam, it is it's good to see him kind of as you said, at the forefront of this, even though it's it's Dragon Ball. We're so used to seeing Goku and Vegeta taking the spotlight.
Yeah.
It felt nice to have him and Gohan's sort of dynamic again as well.
Yeah, but I mean, even so, the film was very much much more Piccolo. Gohan was there, and yeah, like, we'll talk about it later, but Gohan got his new transformation and things like that. But even so, Gohan was very much a sideline character for this film.
It's a very strange concept, that, is it? Like,
It was about him, but he wasn't one of the main characters. He didn't get a load of screen time. Like, yeah, he was part of the main fight at the end, but that was about it.
it is true. Like, it is like focusing on Piccolo's relationship with him, like him and Pan as well. Like, he's just going around trying to like stop the Red Ribbon Army for the longest. But like, it's a weird concept, the fact that Piccolo is very much like the main character of this. But even then, like, they don't pitch it that way in any of the trailers or anything like that. Like, it isn't pitching like any of the visual like promos or anything like that. But it's just a weird concept. But realistically, if they did pitch it as Piccolo as the main character of this movie, would anyone actually be willing to see it as much?
I think people would.
I would. I love Piccolo.
Like, it's the one thing that I thought was the most surprising. Again, like Pepe said, all the promo and stuff, like, we were led to believe that it was going to be a certain type of story. And they left out some small details that actually make up the bigger picture. And obviously, if you like watch stuff or you hear things from online or whatever, you'll figure it out, right? But I was actually quite surprised that the film didn't quite happen the way all the trailers and stuff were describing it. Yes, he still goes against the Red Ribbon Army. Yes, he still goes and undercover, and Pan is there. But it also, the most surprising thing is that it was their plan in the end, kind of, you know what I mean? Like, when you're led to believe that the Red Ribbon Army kidnaps Pan and Piccolo's in the uniform, you think, oh, he's there because he's trying to get in to save her, and then Gohan appears. But no, it turns out Piccolo was there infiltrating before, and then he's like, do you know what? Let's get Gohan back into shape. Let's get him kicked up the arse so he finally sees the error of his ways.
Faking his daughter's kidnapping, essentially.
Yeah, like, they're both in on the bit, like, on the gag, like, haha, it's all fun and games, but Gohan doesn't know because he's too busy locked up in a room researching ants that are like Super Saiyans.
Super Saiyan ants. Super Saiyan.
Oh,
Super
God.
Saiyans. Oh my God.
That hurt me on a spiritual level when he said that. Oh God. Oh. Ugh.
I think it's I mean, some of the stuff that came through in terms of the dub in this this movie is quite questionable. But I mean, I'm not gonna be like slating on it. I'm not gonna hate on it that much. I think.
Yeah, I would like to watch it subbed when I get the chance.
Yeah, same. Like when the Blu-ray comes out, I'll watch it in sub.
Yeah, but it's always like Dragon Ball's one of those things where I will always watch the sub and then I will always watch the dub because obviously we grew up with the voices of Shemmel and I was about to say Chris Hemsworth, but no, it's Christopher Sabat, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know, like Sean Shemmel, Sabat, Sonny Strait, all of that lot, and it was great to just have them back.
I will say though, whilst some things like the pun work, I'm not a fan of puns anyway, so they always hurt me. But I can appreciate that the dub for the film sort of had a more light-hearted tone. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
The whole film felt sort of like a cross between original Dragon Ball humor and adventure with, you know, more Super and Z vibes. You know, you got all the fights and the transformations from the later parts, but it still had this sort of humor about it. This sort of almost fourth wall breaking, like very self-aware comedic sense. Like with the whole Carmine stuff, every time he did a presentation, like Magenta being like, oh, you made yourself a logo, did you? Yes, I did. Like, or when he's
and like he was his YouTube videos,
yeah,
his channel, which only has like, what was it, Piccolo and Gohan, like number 14?
Yeah, but it had
like
12 views. Like,
yeah,
it was like little like references and things like that were like pretty funny.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they like it did like hit the mark on the like humor scale quite well. I do agree.
It did. Can we just talk about something that hit me quite hard while we were watching that?
Oh yeah,
and that's the family tree of Dr. Gero.
Yeah,
I noticed that as well. Yes, this is.
So he had a kid with Android 21.
Yes.
And Android 21's kid was Android 16.
Yes.
I had no idea about that. And 16 apparently had a kid called Header.
I had no idea either.
You guys didn't know that?
No, I had no clue about it.
No, so I'm guessing he turned his kid into an android before he turned his wife into an android.
Okay, so what happened was, and this was all things that I've watched on YouTube and stuff. So at some point, Gero and 21 get together.
Surely before she's 21, right?
Yes. So he changes and she leaves. And they had a son before that. he was part of the Red Ribbon Army and dies
Mm-hmm.
on some sort of mission. So then he gets super depressed and rebuilds, like basically builds an android version of his dead son.
Uh-huh.
At some point, they both turn themselves into androids in some capacity.
Well, where is all of this in actual Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball? It's nowhere. How are we meant to know that?
It literally isn't. I mean, people figured out back in the Z days that 16 was Jiro's son. I don't know how. I literally don't know how, but I knew that for a long time.
Yeah, it's not really like explained anywhere at all. Like
It's probably one of those where, like it's in one of those like
it's a character book or something like that.
character book or something like yearly thing.
So he more just made 16 in his son's likeness.
Yeah, because he was depressed that his son died.
And similarly, I guess he probably made 21 in his wife's likeness or his ex-wife's likeness.
No, she was still alive. So she turned herself into something.
Oh, so he just turned her into she turned herself into an android.
Yeah, because they separated.
Oh, I see.
At some point. Again, it's confusing because they both happen to do the same thing, but they split because of something. And then yeah, I didn't like that her real name is like Vomit or something, or Vomu, because Jiro, or in Japanese Gero, is vomit. And so her name is like Vomu or something.
So what's Hedo?
Hedo is something I can't remember. I think it's like burp or something.
Lovely.
Jesus Christ. See, like I remember like us having a conversation at one point about we like the naming convention in Dragon Ball. Like tambourine, drum, like like the Ginyu Force, like juice, but
I mean, on that note, reading Dragon Ball Super yesterday,
yeah,
I only just clocked that they are called the heaters, and there is gas and elec. So a gas heater and an electric heater.
Yeah.
And what are the other two called?
Oil and I can't remember what the other one is. It's oil, gas, elec, and
oil heater and some other heater. It's just so funny. I love it.
It's just like, yeah, like at the end of the day, it's just Dragon Ball naming conventions all over. They always go for theme, but it's just I never thought they'd go for.
They're not always complimentary though. I mean, the Briefs family is all underpants.
I mean, that's like it feeds into Dragon Ball's comedy when it first started, though, isn't it? The Briefs family, that kind of makes sense, I guess.
I literally as well only the other day realized that Videl is an anagram of devil.
Wow, you just blew my mind.
But yeah.
So Mr. Satan, Videl, devil. I only literally just realized that the other day.
It just confuses me. It just confuses me every time I watch the Dragon Ball Z anime because they obviously switch the V's with B's, don't they?
Yeah, Videl and
so it's like, and you look if you watch the Dragon Ball Z anime, or when they're all cheering for Videl and that, it says Bidel on the sides and that, and you're like, that's weird. So it makes it even weirder that yes, you're right, it is definitely devil, but it is also like, bro, in the anime they're saying like Bidel everywhere.
Bidel.
Yeah, obviously they say like Vegeta and stuff like that as well. So
it's all right. It used to confuse me like with when Bulla first came around, and as a kid I was like, how's that work? It's confusing because it's like Bulla. Bulla, and then it's like, oh right, yeah, the LR thing. So
yeah,
I'm surprised Vegeta didn't have more of a say in naming them after vegetables.
Why would he have a say? He doesn't wear the pants in that relationship.
He also doesn't care for his kids, so
hey, that's a lie. He cares for Bulla more than he loves Trunks.
No, he loves Bulla.
He develops like things, I don't know, emotions for his kids, but like at the start he really doesn't give a shit.
When Bulla was born, he was on that, right?
Yeah, but by that time he cared about Trunks. He cared about Trunks like that at that point.
Yeah, but Trunks is a little shit anyway, so who cares?
Wow, according to this film, he's not a little shit anymore, he's a big shit. Because he's had a growth spurt and he's grown up because the timeline is whack.
Whoa, Gohan explains that away, doesn't he? Oh yeah, Saiyans remain small for quite a long time, and then all of a sudden we have a growth spurt, he says.
All I'm saying, right, is Saiyan, huh? Anyway. I'm saying is if Super returns as an anime, I would not be surprised if they do the arcs like the Moro arc and then the arc after the Moro arc and then the Gas and Elec arc and stuff. I would not be surprised if suddenly in the anime it is a few years on and Trunks and Goten have just taller and all of that kind of thing.
I mean, that's if they even decide to do those other arcs.
They will. They will.
Like, they don't have to do the Morrow. Like, they might just decide, yeah, that was a cool thing for the manga, and we're just going to do a completely new one.
Oh, but the Morrow arc is the best one they've done since, like...
I mean, it was good, but again, they can just decide, right, so we did the film, and we're going to continue from the film, and then we'll add in elements that happened in the manga, but to understand, you would have had to have read the chapters. Like, it's a weird state of affairs right now that Dragon Ball is kind of a multimedia machine.
Yeah.
That doesn't quite have to do the exact same thing in every form.
At this point, it's like, obviously, it was with Z, it was a time where, the manga's out by Akira Toriyama. We'll follow that strategy, but right now Akira Toriyama's just basically overseeing it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he's like, yeah, that works. Oh yeah, there's design concepts by Toriyama. This story's okay.
Yeah, just name these guys after heaters. It's all good.
But now he's just like, Toriyama doesn't have as much control as he used to do back then. So right now we've just got like stuff all over the place where we don't actually know what is the direct linear path of the story. So it's a bit confusing right now, especially when you look at what is the anime gonna do next? Are we gonna go straight on from the film, or are we gonna go from the manga?
No, but what I'm saying is I wouldn't be surprised if they go into the manga, but they just decide to set it 3 years in the future, where the only real difference is Pan, Trunks, and Goten older.
I mean, it would work, and realistically, those characters don't even have anything to do with.
Yeah, they don't appear at all
in those arcs at all.
They've had a couple of panels maybe, and that's it.
Yeah, it's doable. It is certainly doable, because like Gohan doesn't really have anything. And...
Yeah, it is doable, but then I feel like they probably still wouldn't, just because some people would be like, yeah, but that's not how it happened in this. That material, it didn't do that. And the fandom's already completely torn and weird as it is over the differences between the manga and movies and anime. Like, I don't know. I feel like that you're just going to cause more confusion. But
I feel like right now it's hard to tell like where this is all going to go, because it could go in any direction. We're just speculating at this point where it's going to go.
True. In the manga, we had Beerus like soloing the entire rest of the Gods of Destruction, didn't we? Which was awesome.
Yeah.
But that did not happen in the anime.
Yeah, that was a thing. I don't remember. Honestly, I don't even remember that. But I'm just like, yeah, I'll go along with it. Fair. I'm just like, with the super manga, I just like kind of like, I read it and be like, oh, that's cool, and then I probably forget about whatever happened like 2 months later or 3 months later. Anyway, though, the film.
I'm just gonna bring it up right now.
Yeah,
we have all talked about it before this, so Pepe broke his own rule. But there is one scene that, two scenes technically, that are just very unnecessary in terms of their shot decisions.
I mean, I feel like
three.
What?
There are three.
Oh yeah, there were three shots. So basically, yeah,
it's.
I mean, it's arguable because realistically, yeah, 3 is an unnecessary choice. Like, okay, let's actually talk about what we, like, instead of like dance around it. So the shots we're talking about here are some very, very close-up shots of how do we explain it?
Magenta and Dr. Hedo's crotches as the car spins out of control at the beginning.
Yes, it's a very interesting choice to have that angle.
Mm-hmm.
You could have just done like an over-the-shoulder, like back and forth cut between the two characters, because they're right next to each other, right?
Yeah. It was odd.
It's not even like at the end where like Fat Gotenks has got his, trousers blasted at the butt, and then he's doing a whole Japanese like Shin-chan thing. That's different, right? That you kind of like, okay, well, that's kind of Japanese humor. That's also like OG Dragon Ball humor. But the crotch shot, I don't know what that was about.
It really is emphasized a lot more in this when you see it in cinemas as well. I think it's possible if you're watching it on TV, you'd be like, okay, that's a bit weird. But it's when you're watching it in the cinema where it's on a massive screen and everyone in the room is just staring at this guy's crotch, and it just gets a bit like, okay, why?
Yeah.
Why have you done that?
Yeah.
But then equally, we all agreed that there's another shot where Bulma's looking for the communicator to talk to Whis.
And it's just straight up Bulma bottom in your face.
Yeah. And it's like,
There were kids in that audience, man, and I definitely heard a mum make some comments.
Well, if we want to talk about the audience, I did also realize that we may have been the only adults there without kids.
No, there was a solo guy by himself next to me.
Okay, so
Yay.
out of a smallish screen, there were 4 adult males there without kids. The rest were parents with kids. Great.
I mean,
Yeah, well, they just saw animated Dragon Balls and decided to take their kids, I guess. I don't know. It's summer holidays. They gotta give them something to do.
When I was waiting for you guys who went to the bathroom, I did hear 2 of the kids come out of the screen and they were actually talking about Dragon Ball in the same way kids would always talk about Dragon Ball. And it was sort of heartwarming because they were both like, oh yeah, but like, so Gohan used the special beam cannon, right? But he knows Kamehameha, and then but Trunks knows it, and then Goten knows it. So then they could like combine, and it'd be like the special Kamehameha beam cannon. And I was like, fucking hell, I remember having conversations like that when I was like 10. I was like, oh man, it's not. It was actually nice to hear that.
It is cool to hear like kids of that generation like actually talk about the same, like you said, the same way we do. Like, and it makes me wonder how they even got access to it.
I don't know, probably from those cringy adverts beforehand. Super Saiyan.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah, the
Super Saiyan toys.
yeah. Is it figure arts?
Yeah,
or something
figure
like
arts,
that?
but like, don't get me wrong, those adverts themselves, besides the voiceover, the stop motion animations actually, for one of them was actually really good.
I mean, it's like if you're a kid, you watch that, and you're oh, that's cool. Like, I mean, it gives me a little bit of childhood nostalgia watching that. And when you get like those adverts on TV, I remember like a Yu-Gi-Oh one where it's like Yu-Gi-Oh action figures, and I remember watching that. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I imagine I would have had the same reaction to that advert as I would have had like back when I was a kid as well. So I don't know. I think it's there. I don't think it's the best advert, and the dubbing, the voiceover is incredibly awkward, but I don't know, the advert itself was cool. That's fine.
Yeah. So what did we think of the film's new villains, or the sort of villains, being the Gammas, our new androids, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2? They were great. I really liked them.
I thought they were really good. Like Gamma 2, I actually in this film leant over to Pepe and went, do you get Sonic vibes from this guy? Because that's what I got.
Yeah.
As soon as you said it to me, I was like, I cannot unsee it now, and I cannot unhear it. It sounds like Sonic.
It did. I forgot to look it up to see if that was Sonic's voice actor, but it sounded a little bit like Sonic, and he had that same sort of like ego to him, and he had that same sort of like cadence. So he definitely felt like he could turn around and just be like, gotta go fast. Shut up, Buttnick.
There was like a
Gamma 1 was very like Android 17 vibes, I think.
But like with it, like the thing is with these androids though, they have like a strong sense of justice, and that's the one thing you do see that more as the film goes on, because you see was it Gamma 2 attack Piccolo from the get-go, and that's how it all starts.
That was pretty good. That was a good fight.
How am I seeing your sound effects?
Yeah. See, this is the one thing, like the trailer for this, when the first trailer came out, I was like, oh, they're actually going to do the whole sound effects throughout the movie, and I thought that should be quite cool.
No, it's just a little hologram attached to his back.
And it was only for the one scene as well. That's the one thing. I thought it was going to be like...
I'm really glad they didn't do it for the whole film, though. I think that would have been a bit jarring.
Well, it broke when he got back to the Red Ribbon Army base. Like, it went on the fritz, and that's how we saw that it was holograms.
Yeah.
And then he didn't use it from then on.
I wouldn't have minded seeing it throughout the whole film.
Yeah, I mean, again, I would have found it a bit jarring if it was like constantly there. But at the same time, I'd understand if it was always there because it's Dragon Ball.
Can you imagine a Goku and Vegeta fight where it's just constant wham, kapow, blam every time they land a hit?
I don't think I would. I don't think I'd stick with the series if that happened. I think I would have to move on from my favorite series. But it was I don't know if you guys remember, but like early on when it's talking about like Hedo and like heroes and stuff, did you also notice that one old hero that is basically the Gamma's design?
Oh really? No, I didn't.
Oh yeah, when he was looking at it's Gamma 2's, right? Gamma 2's design?
I don't know. I think it might have been what? I don't know. It might have just been the basis for both of them.
Yeah.
But like there was basically one of the Gammas like right there. So Hedo just really liked that design and just made them into robots.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like the title is superhero, and realistically, those like the whole basis around Hedo's creations and like the Gammas. Really, like they're all like he's like, oh, I want it all to be hero based. Like he's so fixated on heroes that he creates these two androids that are completely different to stuff like the Jiro was making with like 17, 18, all them other androids. I mean, yeah, they're cool. I think they had like some good character development in the whole thing, and their designs are decent, like different from what we've seen in Dragon Ball in general. So I was happy with them.
Yeah, they were pretty cool. And then of course we had our big bad, and I mean big, being Cell Max, which just made me think that if he got perfected, it would literally just be Cell, but the size of an Uzaru.
I would have preferred it if it was Cell X, but I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
So Cell Max, guys, was just like, it's just Cell in second form, essentially, with a giant club for her tail, slightly more red than green, and frickin' giant.
Yeah, it's like second form Cell as well, isn't it? Like,
yeah, second form Cell.
I would have said definitely red, though. Not like in that description, you make it sound like he's got more of a red hue than a green.
Yeah, he was red, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was definitely red.
I didn't like that the rumors I heard were basically confirmed in that moment. This is the one thing I had, the biggest problem I had with the film is that this whole section is appeasing some part of the fandom that didn't carry on past the Cell Saga.
Yeah.
So the whole last bit is just reliving the past.
Yeah, I did.
Absolutely.
Almost in an identical way, which really just sort of rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, it did kind of feel just like, oh, it's Gohan, so the villain has to be Cell.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, and it has to activate, Gohan's powers have to activate in the same way that he activated Super Saiyan 2, basically, yeah.
Someone he cared about got hurt real bad, and then it's the same like red line thing that opens up to like burning rage screen, and then his hair's super big again, but has to be even bigger because now he's taller, and it's like, oh, come on.
Oh yeah,
I think it's riding the line of trying to pay homage to it and just literally just copy and pasting it. That's the one thing you like.
But that's the thing. It wasn't an homage, was it? It was just basically the same thing.
Yeah, it is literally. And like, I mean, arguably you could argue, oh, he's grown now, so he hasn't done the whole overconfidence thing. You know, like in like I don't know in Dragon Ball, he just took down Cell straight away, pretty much in this one, instead of having the sort of overconfidence. Oh, I want to make him pay or whatever. Realistically, it doesn't work with this villain either because this is just a big out of control bug. So it doesn't work the same way that Cell made everyone pay. It's just like this bug that wants to kill everyone.
Yeah. I felt like it ruined what the film had already built up. Like Sam was saying, we had Piccolo focused, which was great. We had more of the side characters. We had a bit of like home life. So we got to see Pan and stuff.
Yeah.
We got to see all these other characters. And then it's just like, oh, by the way, you know that thing you loved from a long time ago where everyone says Gohan was the coolest? Yeah, we're doing that again. It's like, I don't want that again.
We talk about our new forms as well.
Yeah, we might as well because we're practically there now.
Yeah, should we start with Gohan's first? Let's start because we already mentioned it.
Yeah, so we have Beast Gohan or Gohan Beast. It's one of the two. I think it's Gohan Beast is the name of the new form.
Or either way, it's stupid.
It is a really ridiculous name. I'm not a fan of it.
I guess in a way it's like Ultimate Gohan if he were to go Super Saiyan. In the same way, I guess Super Saiyan Blue is Super Saiyan God turned Super Saiyan. I guess it's kind of like that because he was Ultimate when he then cracked and then turned into that form.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting that they would even make a new transformation considering the lore back in the day was, you know, the Elder Kai, the old Kai was like, you don't have to do that anymore because that's it. Like, this is what you look like because the other transformations are barbaric. You don't need to use anger. You just are powerful. So the fact that they just sort of threw that out and was like, right, now you've got the power, but we're going to push you further and fuse it with your Saiyan power.
Yeah, you've got like UI-esque looking hair and
You've got some fucking fan art looking shit because it's red eyes, spiky ass, massive white hair or silver hair, whatever fucking color you want to call that. It literally was just, I don't know, man. It looked like something somebody found on the internet.
It looked like an OC. It looked like someone's OC. It looks like Dragon Ball AF from back in the day. It literally looks like that. And it's like, it looks cool.
It didn't do anything either.
I mean, this is the one thing. I don't mind the whole concept of it. I don't mind the design, but I think there's something about it just rubs me the wrong way about it. I think maybe it's the way it came about or the story or something, but it just did it like, I don't know. I'm in two minds about it. I think if it was in a fighting game or something, look, okay, here's where I'd put it. If it was in Dragon Ball Heroes, I wouldn't probably bat an eyelid to it.
Yeah, but that's because it's attached to Heroes, isn't it? Like anything in that is just like,
That's because it's attached to Heroes. When it's that's where you got like Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. That's where you've got like your Super Saiyan 4 Gohans and stuff.
Yeah, you've got Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Zeno Goku, which is Super Saiyan 4 with God Key. Like it's
like all over the place, isn't it?
Oh, you've even got like Angel Goku now as well in Heroes, where he's like being trained by the Grand Priest and shit. It's mad.
Yeah, and like that's what I can imagine this form being. But when it's introduced in the actual series, it kind of just feels like they just wanted to throw in a new transformation to make it a selling point, and that's what they chuck in the trailer. And then you see, a new transformation. I've got to see what this is about, how it comes about. And it kind of feels like they're just throwing the transformation in for the sake of it, and I think that's what makes it feel a bit.
All he did with it is use special beam cannon, and that was that.
Yeah,
he could have just got really angry, did a giant special beam cannon, and that was that instead of the transformation.
Yeah. Again, like, he could have just stayed as Ultimate Gohan. It would have been fine. You would have just been like, okay, he's just pissed, like Sam said. Like, he just got so induced in rage, he had enough power to do it, because everyone keeps saying he could have been the most powerful being ever.
Yeah. Literally, it's like the word of the movie.
Yeah.
Could have been the most powerful being. The amount of times it's freaking said. It's just like...
Gohan's potential, like...
Yeah.
Pepper's right. They bring it up so many times, so you could have just done that. Piccolo getting a transformation is fine, actually, to be fair. I think he needed something.
That was... yeah.
Other than the whole, what shall I call it? Orange Piccolo.
Oh, for fuck, yeah.
Rather than like, Namekian Super Saiyan, I don't know.
I mean...
Not Namekian Super Saiyan, that would be awful.
Okay, guys. Orange Piccolo is a shit name. Let's all agree on that now.
Yeah.
But what would you call it?
Super Namek God.
Oh, God.
No. I would call it Shenron Piccolo. Or like Shenron Namekian. Super Shenron Namekian or something. I don't know. That's really bad.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely like you're right though. I think Shenron should be included, or like Dragon Piccolo or something like that, or like...
Dragon Namekian or something.
Dragon something makes sense because technically Piccolo would have been part of the I think the Dragon clan of Namekians is the magicians. What's the fighters? I can't remember what they're called.
Hey, we could just call it Super Namekian too.
Yeah, fuck it, do that.
But you can't though, because Super Namekian originally was when they turned giant. That's what they called Lord Slug.
Oh, true. Yes. But they called him a Super Namek when he absorbed Kami as well. He was like, I'm now a Super Namekian.
Yeah. To be fair, Piccolo named it himself. So
yeah,
this is him just going,
I guess if I had to call it anything, it would be Orange Piccolo.
Yeah. Like, I think all three of us just burst out laughing at that.
I think the whole cinema burst out laughing at that point. He's about as original as freaking Frieza.
Yeah. Golden Frieza.
Or the new one, if we want to.
Or do.
Yeah, but that's a spoiler.
Spoilers of the manga.
That's a spoiler we'll leave.
We're not there yet.
We'll leave out. Yeah, we're not gonna hit that.
But no, it was a cool form. He looked freaking terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. Like
I would not
want to come across him. He looked like if Piccolo had just turned into the most evil son of a bitch you'd ever meet.
But it was a nice callback.
Yeah, it's like Piccolo on steroids.
It was.
It's the fact that the whole time they've got old information, they kept calling him King Piccolo. So, that's back when they were calling themselves demons. I thought it was a nice touch that his like antennas turned into little horns and stuff, and he looked like a demon.
Oh, well, there you go. There's the perfect name for that form. Dragon King Piccolo.
Actually, yeah. I'd vibe with that.
He had Demon King Piccolo when he was evil.
And now he's Dragon King.
It was interesting they had a little new logo appear on his back, though.
Yeah, that was cool.
I guess it's Shenron's mark, right? Because Shenron was like, yeah, here's your dormant power. And there's a little extra for you, because I like you, mate. You're cool.
Well, I mean, he did sort of create him, so So
Yeah.
you'd expect him to give him a bit extra because otherwise he wouldn't exist.
Oh, I will say what was quite amusing is when Dende was like, I've never thought of upgrading the dragon before. Let me do it again. And then all he does is just pour some water over it. And then he's like, oh, wow, it worked.
Cool, it's done now. Yeah, what the hell was that? Was that supposed to be the mystical water or something?
The mystical water.
Yeah, he was like, it might be possible. Give me 1 second. And then he goes and he's like, oh, yeah, it was completely possible. I've just done it for you. It's all good.
It would have been hilarious if you saw him go in, get the statue, and go, "Oh fuck, I haven't really done anything, but I got to show him something." He just goes and grabs a bottle and like opens the tap, pours some regular water, and he's like, "Oh, you'll believe anything."
No, guys, it's a callback to that filler arc.
That's what I think it is. I
the
honestly think that's what that is.
It's called the Mystic Water, isn't it?
Yeah,
Where
the
Kami
Mystic
and-
Water from
Oh, God,
Garlic
yeah.
Jr., isn't it?
That's the Mystic Water, guys. Then they didn't even have to go to the weird realm that Kami and Popo did. He just goes into his like closet of whatever he has. Like, yeah, there's the Mystic Water.
He just went into the toilet.
Toilet.
Yeah, he just went into the bathroom and was like, "Cool, got the old Mystic Water out of the sink."
Mystic. Yeah, that was a thing. But like, I think like Orange Piccolo is like, I think the way that transformation came around, and even like the follow-up to it, where he's fighting Gamma 2, did feel a lot more like, oh, that's epic, that's cool to see Piccolo get some love again, get some more power, and actually like realistically be on some sort of similar level to where Goku and Vegeta are.
Yeah.
Probably not on that level, but like at least somewhat close to it.
Well, I mean, like, if you count that this film takes place after Broly, so they really they're still at Blue and maybe a Ultra Instinct Sign. So, like, Piccolo's probably around that level, which is fine, like, because it brings him up to a more relevant level, but...
Toriyama has apparently said, like, where they would fit in terms of the Goku and Vegeta transformations.
Mm-hmm.
And Orange Piccolo is at the level of Super Saiyan Blue.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Whereas then Gohan Beast is much more powerful than Super Saiyan Blue, but it is below Ultra Instinct and below Ultra Ego.
Okay.
Right, okay.
So at that point in the timeline, with no training whatsoever, no being trained by gods, no achieving Super Saiyan God form or anything like that, Gohan's anger has made him more powerful.
Well, technically he had God Key after, like, he unlocked the realm of the gods when he got his power boost and became Ultimate Gohan, so...
I suppose.
But then
But then here's another thing which I said to Nathan yesterday, and Pepe, I want your two takes on this as well. But like, Gohan is not the only half Saiyan, half human.
Mm-hmm.
So why do Goten and Trunks not have the same potential as Gohan?
I have no answer for it. The only way I can answer that is probably because plot, and it's like they're younger, and
Gohan was the first. Yeah, but I mean, I guess when they were kids, they're already Super Saiyan level.
yeah, I mean, that's also a thing in itself. The fact that they're able to that's a thing in Z that Goten and Trunks have Super Saiyan when they're that young.
So no, my thought on that though is they were both conceived when Goku and Vegeta were already Super Saiyan. So
yeah,
having a Super Saiyan kid when you're Super Saiyan, maybe that's how it works. I don't know.
I know the actual reason for that, but it pains me to know, so...
Oh God, tell us.
So Toriyama at the time came out and said that Goten and Trunks can turn Super Saiyan at such a young age because they were born with more S cells. It's a fucking Star Wars prequel midichlorians bollocks. So some Saiyans have more S cells. Those Saiyans are more likely to turn Super Saiyan.
Okay.
That's literally it. It's the stupidest thing ever.
but yeah, surely that would make if realistically they're half human though, so wouldn't that make it like
I don't know. That's the explanation.
Maybe they've got more S cells because their daddies were Super Saiyans.
But Saiyans
It just-
all Saiyans are born with different levels of S cells.
I don't think we should talk about that anymore.
Yeah.
I hate everything about that.
I wish I didn't know that information. To the previous point, though, what I said to Sam was the reason Goten and Trunks don't have the same potential, quote unquote, is because they're the comic relief.
It's all plot.
They're always just going to be, regardless of how old they are, they're just always going to be the two kids who are almost as strong as anyone else. But because they're time wasters, they will always resort to the fusion dance and always fuck it up somehow and be cocky little shits. And that's it. That's it. That's all they are.
And we're never going to see adult Gotenks.
And even if we did, it would be bungled a bunch of times beforehand. We'll see the anemic one, and then we'll see the fat one. And then by the time they get it right...
They got it right at the end of that film. They just didn't show it to us.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, by the time they get it right, it doesn't matter. They're not going to do anything.
Literally at the end of the film where it literally didn't matter anymore. Why were they doing it? Why were they even doing it? Yeah, just because you can doesn't...
Literally just because they can. Because like I said, they're time wasters.
Yeah,
that's it.
It is always like what Sam does raise a good point. The fact that like they got Super Saiyan so early, but so arguably probably have more potential. Arguably, like they do have more potential than Gohan.
I would have said they have more potential, but time wasters, bro.
I know, yeah. It's all plot. It's all down to plot at the end of the day because it's what works. It's what's more convenient. Because at the end of the day, you can't have a second Gohan because that's another main character that you have to end up developing, and it's just going to be Ag.
I mean, I guess Super Saiyan 2 Future Trunks did manage to do his whole like crazy spirit sword thing that rivaled Vegito Blue against Zamasu, right?
Yeah.
So like there is some like, you know, I was at the time thinking, but he's only Super Saiyan 2. Why is he like suddenly doing more damage against Zamasu than Blue Vegito did? But half Saiyan, half human have more potential than full Saiyans for some reason. Maybe.
Well, I mean, that whole spirit sword thing was sort of from a spirit bomb, which is supposed to be like the best thing against evil entities. So it could be argued that it was more the technique than actually him.
Maybe just bring that up because he just hates Future Trunks.
Look, I'm not saying because of that, but I mean, like, logically, it was because they were doing something with a spirit bomb, and then it sort of somehow went into his fucking broken sword, like, and then he cut him in half. And, you know, by that point, no one's going to say Zamas was not completely evil.
But no one even managed to actually beat him.
No, just...
Yeah, right. They had to call in the god of everything and just have him wipe everything out.
That whole freaking universe. Yeah. This is like, you can't fix this. Bye.
Pretty much, like, what is this? I don't like this. It's all gone.
Oh god, that was an interesting arc. Okay, I think like in general as well, I wanted to talk to you guys about the art direction.
Okay, yeah.
Like, because I remember when a lot of people saw this trailer at first, it's not your typical like art style that Dragon Ball would usually go for. It goes on like a borderline CG vibe, right? You just feel that, right?
Well, it is CG.
Yeah, it's like Beastars and the other one kind of animation, isn't it? You know what I mean by the other one, Berserk. That's the one.
Yeah. Like, what did you guys think of it in the end? Like, after seeing the whole movie?
Hated it in the trailer.
Yeah.
But then this actually changed my mind. I think it actually looked really good. I mean, I will say in terms of art direction, I still think that Dragon Ball Super Broly trumps it.
Oh, I agree, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to top that, though.
And I think that's possibly the best. Yeah, I think that's some of the best art direction Dragon Ball has literally ever had. I think arguably if it was in that art style, then, well, you know what? I think they're very different films, right?
Yeah.
I think the art style fit this one.
Absolutely.
But, you know, where it was more just like an intense universal battle in Broly, the whole sort of almost watercolory, crazy art direction they went for that one fit that one much more. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it grew on me, but then I never thought I would like that kind of art design anyway. But then I started watching Beastars and I fell in love with that kind of art direction. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it might be.
I actually agree with you because I think I remember seeing that and I was like, oh, I'm not too keen on that art style. But you're right. It's completely like it suits this movie really well. And like, yeah, I mean, at times, I don't know if you noticed as well, some of the animation was a little bit janky. I think it's when Carmine was walking, it's like one of the first scenes, he's walking towards, is it Magenta? It is Magenta, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like, his shoulder just really like seems a bit rigid. And I was like, oh, that looks a bit weird.
I mean, mean, that would be because it's 3D modeling and the 3D animation is all, like
Yeah,
you got to get the skeleton right. And maybe whoever was animating that walk cycle might have just missed the frame or two or something, or forgot.
I feel like it's more detrimental at the start of the film compared to towards the end, because at that point you're invested in the action, you're watching the battle scenes. Whereas this point, you're like 5 minutes into the film and you're watching this dude walk in a casual scene where not much is going on. You're probably getting, like, in my case, I guess I noticed it more because it's at the start and there's not much else you can look at. But like, yeah, like that's my only complaint with it, really. I think otherwise, I thought it was quite decent for what it is. I'm not gonna say anything completely bad against it. I like Sam said though, like Broly was like top tier with that animation as well.
They definitely cleaned it up by multitudes, because the trailer was super rough, the lighting was off, the texturing was off. It all just felt like it wasn't complete yet. But the final film, like, I actually do quite like the texturing. It looks like Dragon Ball, and at times it was kind of hard to tell that it was 3D, like it was all shot in 3D, because the lighting is pretty on point. It's it's fine, to be honest. I think it's more interesting that this film was like basically pioneering this whole new system of animation and like styling for basically the rest of Toei stuff.
I think the problem with it though is I don't think it necessarily fits the pacing of Dragon Ball fights that well. And thinking about it, that might be why they decided to go for Cell Max as in just a giant villain for the main fight.
Yeah.
Because all of the fights, the Goku and Vegeta fight we had, it was cool, but it felt very slow compared to normal Dragon Ball fights. And then some of the fights between like Piccolo and Gamma 2, for example, they were all right, but then like the final fight was just a giant thing and they all kept their distance firing energy blasts at it, and it just felt a bit slower and the fights weren't anywhere near as good and what you go to Dragon Ball for. And
again, it's all down to the fact that Shueisha and Toei, they're pushing, this is what they want, this is the animation style they want for like a bunch of stuff. So Dragon Ball is the pioneer of it, so everyone had to learn to do this, like, and get it to somewhat of a decent level for the film, because this is supposedly, apparently what I've heard, this is it. This is supposedly Dragon Ball's future and quite a lot of other things' future. This is how things are going to look. I don't personally agree with it, but it looked fine. They did a great job making it at least feel somewhat Dragon Ball with that. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems like an interesting choice to, outside of also the success of the movie for that franchise, also pushing something like that.
I think it can work. And like you said, Sam, like you enjoyed it with Beastars. And I think it's an as and when situation. I think pushing it as the future of like all their stuff is a very big decision.
Yeah.
I feel like with certain manga and anime, everything has a different style. Like it's all designed differently. And I feel like you can't just say, oh yeah, we're going to go for this one thing now. I feel like you've got to like do a style of animation which is suitable to that series itself.
Well, yeah, like Beastars isn't particularly like action heavy at all. It's more just, the story of it all, and it's a bit of a murder mystery and this, that, the other. So, I think the style fits that really well. But then, as I just said, in terms of how I felt the pacing of some of the fights and stuff in that one were, I'm not sure if that reflects the art style, because it's probably a bit more expensive to do, so they can't do as much as they could if it was standard in the fights,
I don't know, like that. I guess there's pros and cons to both. I seriously don't know why they would push so hard.
Just give me more Broly style fights and I'm happy.
I mean, that's what everyone said. As soon as that first trailer came out and it was like, oh yeah, it's all going to be 3D. That stuff you liked before, yeah, we're not doing that again.
I think that's why, like, it's so hard to live up to that previous film as well. And I think it's probably best that they didn't go for that Broly style with this one, though. Because imagine if you got it with this one, I feel like with the characters and the plot of this, although I think the film was good, I don't think it was as good as Broly. And having that fantastical art style from Broly in this film, I think would have felt a little bit out of place thinking about it now.
Yes.
I think it could have worked, though.
I think it could have worked, but would it have worked as well as Broly? And
it could have made, I think
there's scenes that it definitely would have made better.
Yeah, I think it would have made the fights better.
Yeah.
But in terms of everything else around it and all of the padding and stuff around it, then maybe yes, this one would have worked a bit more. But
I mean, we'll never know
No.
the true answer, will we? To be honest, it's
Yeah.
it's the business, and business always prevails, regardless of what.
one of you go work for Toei and then find out for us.
If I could work for the Dragon Room, I'd probably get fired because I've got too many opinions that probably go against the grain. I'd probably be too outspoken for a Japanese office.
Yeah, that'd you probably throw some cogs in the works there. Is there anything else you guys have to say about the film at all? Is there anything like that you feel like missed out on at all?
Just that the Goku and Vegeta scene was pointless and didn't need to be in it.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with this.
There was no need for it.
Yeah.
Like, it could have just been, oh, we can't contact them for some reason. The end.
You know what the need is for it? They need to have Goku in this film.
Yeah.
That is the one box tick thing. Like, because if there's no Goku in this film, that's the main character of the whole series right there. You can't it feels a bit weird to not have minutes, so they got to tick a box basically.
It's just to appease all the fans. Like
Yeah.
like the film was just trying to please everybody, but not make everyone satisfied. It was just enough that you probably won't complain.
I mean, just quickly with that scene as well, I thought when, Whis was like, okay, you're going to do a fight, free for all, no universe destroying moves, no Kamehamehas, just fist fight. I thought he meant between those two and Broly as well. But no, it was just Goku and Vegeta, and that made me sad.
No, it's good. They did also say, Broly, you're going to sit and watch, because he keeps
Getting out of control, yeah.
It's fine for what it is. Like you said, it was pointless. It was completely pointless, and they showed that. They pretty much showed that in the trailer as well, which I found hilarious. It's just like that one scene. It is literally just to market it. That's all it was.
It is. I think they also, because they sort of put themselves in a corner, because the reveal trailer is Goku doing a little routine,
Yeah.
and then immediately the next one is he's not the main character, and it's a subsequent marketing. I think they just had to put him because they set some sort of expectation, and they were like, "Oh shit! If we don't, they're gonna be mad."
Literally. There we go. Pointless Goku. Is there anything else? Anything else at all? Overall thoughts of the film. Okay, let's round it up then. Overall thoughts on the film. Do you think it lived up to hype? Are you happy with it? The outcome, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I was fine with the film. Like, it was a decent film. It's a little too fan servicey for my liking, but overall pretty decent. It was an enjoyable watch, and I'd recommend it to Dragon Ball fans because it feels like it's a bit too nudge nudge, wink wink. If you don't know a whole lot about Dragon Ball, you might not really get it.
And Sam?
Yeah, I'd say it was an enjoyable watch. If I had to rank it in terms of the Dragon Ball Super films we've had, just remind me, Battle of Gods was technically a Dragon Ball Z film, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, yeah. So in which case, this is my least favorite Dragon Ball Super film. I would say it goes this, then Resurrection F in second place, and the best one being the Broly film.
Technically, Resurrection F is a Z film as well, right? Because the Super came out after it.
No, it's actually Super.
Is it?
I think it's Dragon Ball Super Resurrection F. I'm going to Google it right this second.
It's quite funny because the ending song for that film is called Pledge of...
Oh no, Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So yeah, even so, it's the worst. Out of two,
films.
it is the worst one. There you go. Out of two, it is the worst one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd agree. It's hard to live up to that in terms of those films, and I don't know. Comparing it to some old Dragon Ball Z movies, it does stuff better than those. But times changed a lot since those came out, and I did enjoy it. All I can say is I just don't think it lives up to the hype of some previous films. But it's a good watch. Like Nathan said, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you'll enjoy it. I'm sure you'll enjoy something, and just Dragon Ball getting some representation in the media these days. I was gonna say if there's anything else, but I feel like the conversation's gone its natural way.
Okay, well then, thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, hit that bell button so you get notified, and check us out on podcast platforms. We've got all the links in the description, along with all the Sam's links as always, and we will catch you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.